business where hobby meets hustle. Listen up.
Like, what if my grandma's listening?
Shouts out Corey and Tim. Man, who run this? Surely it's them.
All right, we're back.
We
never know. We never know what episode number this is going to be because they just
for this
edit and put it
episode.
out.
Should it be episode 69?
Why? Because we got
Yeah.
Daddy Rips
Yeah, it should be 69.
in the green
Yeah.
beam.
I definitely want to go into how you came up with that name, but I first off want to say I will never call you Daddy, and I refuse to ever.
You just did.
Well, after that one, all right, minus that one.
No, I call him
Tim,
Daddy Rips.
All Tim will only call you is Daddy.
Yeah. No, I'll call him Daddy Rips. Yeah. So let's just get right into it because you're one of my favorite. You're one of my favorite people in the hobby. You seem to do it your way, how you want to do it. So a lot of people see where you're at now. You got the podcast. I love it, by the way. That's why I told Corey, like, we got to have him on because he just does his thing. And obviously you're breaking, as always. But before all it got like this to where you could do a podcast, like, how did you start off with, how many guys did you have? How did you build your, especially with, let's just talk about it. You're one of the very few that just flat out will swear and say whatever they want on screen. So how did you build that up and get people rocking with you for all these years now?
Well, I have to give credit to Rizzo Sports because he was like this. I kind of used him as the stepping stone to get to where, like, to move up to that next level. Because I was breaking on his page before he started getting into with like coffee breakers and stuff. I started breaking on his page, and I already had like my personal account was Daddy Beastin. So when I would go in there, when I wasn't breaking, they'd be like, "Oh, there's Daddy." So when it came to the name, I was like, I need a card page because I'm getting into all these breaks and I need to post these cards and I want to eventually start doing it on my own. So my wife's like, we were just like standing in the driveway and I'm like, I need a name. And she's like, "You're Daddy. Like everyone knows you as Daddy."
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No, your wife calling you Daddy is not everyone knowing you as Daddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she's like, yeah, that's it. She's like, "You're Daddy Rips." And I was
Can't
like, yeah,
be.
I'm Daddy Rips.
Shout out to your wife, but dude, that's ridiculous. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever
No,
heard.
She came up with the name and she designed the initial Daddy Rips was like spelled out with like the different like font, but she came up with everything.
That's a
And then
nice
she was
font,
like,
though, because I think you have it on the stand-up display. I think you still have an older font, right?
Yeah, I have it right here.
Imagine how many guys, if they were like, "Hey baby, I need a name," how many guys would be named Asshole Rips? Or like,
Everyone knows you as Asshole.
right? Yeah, everyone. That's how I know you.
Well, 'cause I'd
congrats
go
on
live
getting
on
your wife to call you Daddy. That's pretty impressive.
I'd go live on Rizzo, and if I wasn't live, people would ask Jeff like, "Hey, where's Daddy at? Like, we want Daddy," you know. And
But at this point, probably
weird.
nobody even saw your face. I mean, it was all hands.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because back then, too, in the early days of Instagram breaks, nobody showed their face. Like, I was afraid to fart on live. Now, I just
So
let
that's
'em-
so
let
you
'em
were.
rip.
Was there someone
swear.
telling you like, "Hey, watch the swearing"? Like, when did that take where you were just like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna be just me. I'm just gonna speak my mind, let it flow."
No, that was the beautiful thing about working with Jeff.
He doesn't care, dude. That guy.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Jeff would come in and he would go, "All right, you just go live at 7 and I'm going to be in the other room. If you need me, just go for it." You know? I mean, dude, I was bounding like Luca base cards back in the day when people were like freaking out because we're giving away a Luca base, Prism card. And he just let me be me. And that's a lot of people don't realize, like, what I say on live is I talk like that all the time. I talk like that around my wife. I talk that around friends. I just say how it is. I don't hold really anything back. And sometimes I push the envelope. Sometimes I get in trouble. Like right now I'm being shadow banned on Instagram. Like they literally told me I'm being shadow banned from I made a comment about Nancy Pelosi on a post.
I mean, dude, all right, maybe go back to Daddy Bangers or whatever to make that comment. Why are you doing it from Daddy Rip's comment? page?
I don't know. I just
You were just talking. You were just being.
Yeah, I was just talking. She made a post, and I wrote a comment, and I put I spelled out CU next Tuesday.
Oh, the classic Donald Trump. Where he writes in cryptic letters.
Is that an
Yeah,
algorithm thing, or did someone complain?
No, it's got to be an algorithm thing because it immediately booted me off the page. I went to the guidelines and Instagram thing, whatever they want to call it, their guidelines page, and it's like your page is at risk for being canceled or deleted.
But let me ask you this: so it's taken you so much time, and I used to watch you on Rizzo. That he was like one of the first breakers I watched. I could never the stuff he was doing. I couldn't afford to get into. I maybe got into like one or two like random team breaks, which at the time were probably really cheap for like Luka stuff. But dude, that channel had guys just ripping like choice cases, like not stopping, just send, like.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a really big audience, and I do remember in there. So like thinking about how much you've grown, how much work it's taken, how much you've had to like grind, and like I know there's some stories about you losing, whether getting scammed or like different deals. How much of that comes into play when you're like, you know what, Nancy Pelosi isn't going to see this anyway, and do I really want to jeopardize my income to make a comment?
Yeah, it's an impulse reaction on my end. Yeah, and trust me, even my wife is like, just follow the IG guidelines. Just play the rules. Play by the rules, because I can say whatever I want on Twitter. I've said some wild shit on Twitter. And if somebody goes on my account right now, like they'll see, man, I don't hold back on Twitter, and I've never even gotten flagged or said, you can't say this. But Instagram, there's just all these little algorithms and words that trigger their little guidelines things. And you know what? The first 7 offenses that I got on there, I was having Trulies, I was drinking, I'm sitting on my phone at night, and I'm firing away on either a live stream or on comments. And yes, I probably should just shut my mouth up and not say anything.
Yeah, but it's not even that dramatic. No, see, it's not shut your mouth up. It's self-preservation, because in this hobby, dude, there's 10 guys lined up behind you to take your customers.
I don't know. My page got suspended for bullying and harassment because there was a hobby troll that I like memed to death, put 6 memes out. I think the algorithm, because I put, I'm not going to allow these bullies to bully, right? Like, because none of these guys are ever going to, first of all, show up at shows or say anything to the guys that they actually don't like in the hobby. It just doesn't happen, right? And it's not even talk about tough, weak, nothing. It's just not going to happen. So my account got suspended, and I think it was because I put the word bully. So it gets to a point where it's like, that's what I mean. Like, you can't let these bullies win. Like, that's how I would think about it.
But this isn't the bully, dude. You guys are fighting. You guys are fighting Instagram. Good luck.
That's the biggest, one of the biggest bullies there is.
Kick you. You're not going to win.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Corey. It's
Tim,
something that
would you want your account back right now?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have your account right now?
No, I had the backup. I had Slab Strong always as my business account, but I had a Slab_Strong,
which had 10K followers.
And yeah, but like still though.
Oh yeah, you're gonna really show Mark Zuckerberg who's boss.
No,
Who
but
gives a shit?
No, but so for like Daddy Rips, I think it's like, so I would love for when someone's on brand like Daddy Rips, I would just love for him to be able to keep being on brand because it's himself, right? So it just sucks that happened because he was just being himself. Because you can have all these separate political views all you want, and who really cares at the end of the day? Like I just like Daddy Rips. I don't really care what, I like to listen.
I'm friends with somebody who is in the Instagram world with Meta. I don't, works for him. And he had like kind of been giving me tips along the way, especially in the last like 6 months. He's kind of like guiding me like, hey, don't say stuff like this. I put out, and I thought it was funny. And I didn't think it really towed the line that much, but it's the video of the guy dancing that, like the popular dance thing. And it's like, I can't remember what his name is. It's Bill Hader. It's the Bill Hader dance, right? Where he's dancing. And I put in the background a police car, and I put like what normal traffic stops look like during Pride Month, you know? And it was just and I'm like, it's not that bad, right? I could have said a lot worse. And he like texted me right away. He's like, this is the reason you're being shadow banned. This is the reason everything's being ramped down. He's like, delete that right away. And I did, but I've noticed the things that I notice are all like the stats, right? I go into the likes, the comments, the shares, the stories, like who's seeing my stories. And I was getting to a point like around January, I was getting 2,000 plus people seeing my stories. And then ever since I got the Pelosi comment, they took my lives from 4 hours to 1. So now I can only go live for 1 hour, which is crazy.
They can do that?
Right? Yeah, they ramped down my lives. So now I'm only allowed to go live for 1 hour at a time. And now I'm only seeing like 700 seeing my stories, which is a drastic drop. So I started reaching out to people. Hey, what does your notifications look like? And they would click the and they would screenshot, and everything would be turned off. Everything. Like no lives, no like nothing. Stories, reels, everything. I had like 15, 20 guys who are regulars who spend a lot of money with us screenshot and send me that. And they're like, look, I'm not even getting notifications when you're going live. I'm not getting notifications when you post something, when you do reels, when you do videos, when you do stories, anything. So if that's happening to the regulars, it's probably happening across the whole board. So they could just it's probably just a thing that, hey, this guy's being flagged, ramp down his page, and it's hurt us. But at the same time, it's like, you know what? That's just how I am. So I can't, I don't want to be like censored to the point where I can't say what I want to say.
Do you really need to say? Okay, so again,
no, I don't really need to go after Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
No.
So like,
no, I don't.
I know, but Corey, okay, here's the thing, right? He doesn't need to. But what if there's just an off the cuff joke, right? Like, what if she's just being like,
but
you know what I mean? Like, I say stupid stuff all the time.
That's not right, and that's not why you got kicked off. That's not why he got shadow banned. I would be completely on board if in your live you were taught, like, I know your jokes are funny, but they can be like use profanity, whatever. I laugh, I joke in the chats with you too. I've never had any issues. Like
but you never know. There might be that one guy.
Oh, that's the worst.
Last week,
100%.
Last week, it was the tail end of June, and I had 3 trolls in my room. And they were going after, and they were claiming spots, and then going, "Oh, yeah, I paid." I'm like, "No, I knew they were trolls."
Yeah.
And I jokingly said, "Why don't you and your 2 buddies go sit on each other's laps and share a Capri Sun?" Just a joke.
Capri Suns are delicious.
Capri Sun, and I said something like, "And only use 1 straw or something," and they all 3 went, "This is homophobic. This is how dare you during Pride Month." And I'm sure they probably reported me. I'm sure they did, but it's like, had nothing to do with being homophobic in any way. But that's the knee-jerk reaction, and they're trolls. And so, it's just, I guess on the lives, that's just what it comes with the territory.
Yeah, okay.
If I do a Trump impression, I'm pissing off people.
Right.
Like, people get mad when I do a Trump impression. I'm like, it just says impression. They're like, "Oh, you support Trump." It's like, I can't do an impression of Donald Trump? Yeah. It's fucking hilarious.
Right. Either way, no matter how you feel about the guy, doing an impression of him is hilarious. Like, that's the joke behind it is.
Yeah.
100%. And kept in that live and kept in the world that you're in, I can totally understand it. But you don't if you like to carry around a knife, and all you did was carry around a knife, and then you went to the airport and they said, "You can't carry that knife in here." You got to get, you're playing in their field. You're on Instagram. You make your money through Instagram. You make your money through their breaks. You utilize their live platforms. Like, it's just a game. There's some game you have to play. And honestly, dude, commenting on Nancy Pelosi posts is just I don't know.
Well, how about this then, right? So going through all that, knowing what you went through there, is there anything what's the solution for what's the solution, right? We know we got Fanatics Live coming. There's Whatnot. There's Card Shop Live. There's Loop still. There's Drip. Like
Drip.
what's
Yeah.
what?
I've been approached by a lot of those guys
Yeah,
too. I
well,
just don't.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm with Card Shop Live. I approach you all the time about it. All right,
Yeah.
where? But like, so like, what do you think is the best platform? Does Twitter? You can't go live on Twitter.
I don't think so. I don't think I've seen anybody live on Twitter.
No,
I know people use
TikTok.
Twitch, TikTok.
Well, are you worried in the sense that Fanatics Live comes along and these guys get bigger to where you kind of have to calm down, like even more so than Instagram?
You know,
I feel like
listen,
people know your
if it-
content. I feel like if anyone's reached out to you, if any of these big companies know about you, then they know about you and they like your
Yeah.
content.
Well, I mean, I was I was approached by, I think it was Drip Card Shop, and I'm sure it was some sort of the content that got that uh, they saw me through the content. And I think content, if you're not doing some sort of content these days, you're not doing it right. You know, I said it on my last podcast. I'm like, if you're not doing content, even as an LCS, I think you're fucking up, because a lot of people are absorbing all the content, whether it's TikTok, Reels, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you might do, podcasting, this stuff. So, listen, if I'm invited onto their platform, because I don't know how it's going to look, I'm on their wait list right now, and supposedly there's 12,000 or 13,000 people on their wait list.
We'll put a
to break
word
on
in
there.
for you. They're
Yeah.
listening.
So if I'm invited on that platform and they're like, hey, you can't say certain things, of course I'm going to abide by the rules. I'm like, that might be eventually down the road, that might only be a platform that I can break on. I mean, we were doing eBay breaks. eBay took breaks away from a lot of people, so we're not on their list. I'm not a big fan of Whatnot. I've had my issues with them. They know how I feel about them. I call that app Buttnot because everyone gets bent over in the ass. And it's true. I mean, you have people on there running single shows. They're putting fucking cards that aren't even worth $1 in a one touch and then pumping it up like it's a $15 card and then telling them, great buy. That was a great buy. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. It's not a great buy. You're peddling dog shit cards. And then what's going to happen is when those people go to resell those cards, they're going to get screwed over. And then they're going to be out of the hobby forever because they think they just bought a $15 card and they can resell it for $20 and they're not even going to get $1 for it. It's sad. But let them do them. Eventually their customers will leave. Anyways, circling back, where was I at?
So you're talking about if Fanatics becomes the only game in
yeah.
town. Because again,
So,
look at
like-
the rules. I mean, look at the rules that they're putting out already, just guidelines of getting product. There's certainly going to be guidelines to breakers. I mean,
Yeah, of course there'll be guidelines. I mean, like I said, eBay, July 18th is the last day that I can do an eBay break. So that's off the table. I haven't been approved for TikTok for whatever reason. They got a lot of fucking idiots on TikTok ripping. Guys that don't know shit. They don't know cards. They don't even know sports. It's like most of these guys are probably basement dwelling idiots that they just happen to get lucky because they have 200-300 people in their live and they're ripping cards. But you have guys like me who have been doing it for a while and who know sports and play sports and understand the card game, and I don't get approved. So slowly but surely, it's going to be whittled down to we might only be able to be breaking on Fanatics, and who knows? Instagram might be going that way. Instagram might be saying, "Hey, we're not going to allow breakers on here because everybody else is doing it." So yeah, I have to be careful of what I say and how I do things, but at the same time, I don't think Fanatics would have been able to reach out to me if they didn't like me.
Right.
I don't think some of these people are going to reach out to me if they're like, "Hey, we're staying away from that."
Yeah,
that's just,
Real quick, since if they did reach out to you, and I feel like I think I see a lot of trolls saying like, "Oh, are you glad now Fanatics came into the hobby? Are you like sarcastic wise?" I think they are. I think they have some really good people that are paying attention in the hobby. I really do. I know they have for a fact. Topps has some really true collectors, and I know they're paying attention. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more about just what you've seen
Oh,
from
I can
companies that.
expand on that.
Yeah.
I think Fanatics is going to be great for the hobby. Anybody who doesn't think that, they're probably on the outs. I don't know. The last thing that I heard from Fanatics was through a friend that is a massive spender. He rips nothing but Bowman. He's probably spent $2 million in the hobby on breaks and personals and ripping cards. And they approached him directly, brought him in, and I won't disclose his name or anything, but they brought him in and they asked him, how can we do better? What can we do differently? How can we make the product better? And this guy does not hold back. He's like me in private. He's like me. Like he will tell it like it is. And so that's a thing that I think is going to separate them from anybody else, is that they know, hey, what does this guy want? This guy spent this so much, an obscene amount of money on breaks and personals. Get this guy fucking in and let's pick his brain. They should be picking everybody's brain. Quite frankly, they should go out and get, hey, who rips the most football? Who rips the most basketball? Who rips the most baseball? Who rips the most of whatever sport? Bring those guys in. Hey, how can we do this product better? Oh, okay, you want more parallels? Okay, yeah, we could do more parallels. Okay, we want less in the checklist. Yeah, we could do less in the checklist. I think a lot of guys at Fanatics aren't even real collectors. I think if you probably polled them all, they probably, I would say 40% might collect cards. The other ones are just there because that's their job, right? I think you got to bring those people in, and it might even be LCSs. Those card stores, they know what people actually like, and work together in that sense and try to make a product that's better. If they see a product that does shit, they go, all right, why did this product do bad? Oh, well, we made fucking 50,000 boxes of them. Let's ramp it down. Like what they did with 23 Bowman Sapphire.
Yeah, I
That
heard
was the best thing they could have
that
ever
the
done.
prices were up. I heard you were talking on the live, but they limited the amount.
Yeah. They made 10,250 boxes. The previous year they made 20,000. The previous year before that they made 41,000 boxes. So the fact that they cut that product by cut it by 75% within 2 years, and then they added more parallels. The auto checklist was cut in half. Like, that's the kind of stuff that everyone's like. That's why everyone's freaking out. Oh, these boxes are $700. It's like, well, they could be $1,000.
Right. You could buy You could buy one of them and get some like solid like hits, or you could buy 6 of them and take a crapshoot.
Yeah.
Buy 6 of them at $300 and get shit, or you could get one and actually have a solid box, nonetheless, just like the main hit. I do think that people at Fanatics are doing what you're saying from what conversations me and Tim have. I think also that you're like 40% would be probably about right, probably closer to 60 if you include like tops with Fanatics, because I think a lot of the tops guys are card guys. But obviously Fanatics is running, they hire from the pools of the best, and but me and Tim personally get reached out on stuff. I know they have like pilot programs questioning that stuff. So, and you said your buddy got hauled in to answer, to talk about it. So I think what you're saying is what they're doing. I completely agree. I think that that's the way it works, and all the people, that are there, no one ever is going to be happy. It's not,
No.
But I think that going forward, it's going to be a better upswing than what's happening now, because everything's kind of in limbo. Panini's just doing whatever the hell they want, like just print, and kind of just need to stabilize, because like when you first got into breaking, prices can't be at that point. It's just like unsustainable.
Well, actually, I mean, when I first, Luca boxes were $900 when we first started breaking. Luca boxes, that was 1819 Prism, and because I only know that because first off the line we were breaking first off the line at 1,200, and we were doing divisions at 1,200, so it was like 200 a spot. Those boxes now are like $6,000. But I hope we can get back to those prices. I tell people, like, we need a correction. We need to correct everything. We need breaks to come down. We need prices of boxes to come down, or at least reflect the comps of the cards. You can't have the fucking box be $1,000 and you hit the number one auto in that fucking set, and that card can't even pay for the price of a box.
Yep.
Like, that's the gap that needs to be closed, because it's just a waste of money at that point. You're just throwing money away. 2022 Bowman Sapphire, those boxes are $600. Let's just say, if you pull an Ellie auto, it's the number one chase. Okay, pays for the box and some. His autos are doing like $1,200 just the base. So that's where other sports are doing it wrong. Why the fuck? I'm sorry. Why the fuck is this year's Flawless basketball? Why were they going for 26 grand? The fucking class sucks.
I know, and honestly, I've never seen more Logo Man than, like, everybody's pulling a Logo Man. I look at the Logo Man, and it looks like a piece of plastic.
Yeah,
like it looks like a little charm, like a toy. I ever seen on a jersey.
I don't get it. I'm like, make it make sense. Panini, please make it make sense. Because when you have Prism, 1920, like, if you go back, they've gone down. They've slowly gone down. Like, this year's Prism, you can get, I think they're like less than $600 a box. Okay? So the gap doesn't make any sense when you're talking about the, like, Prism to Flawless. Why is Flawless $26,000 when between the last 2 years, Prism, Optic, and Select have literally been cut in thirds? So Flawless should have came out at like 12 grand, but they didn't. They're like, oh, look, we got all these new triple Logo Mans.
Well, I mean, you know the answer, right?
Oh, of course I know the answer.
Well, speaking about that fact, you're very passionate about what you say always, and the knowledge you have. What is that? Is this full time for you? Are you full time? Because I feel like you're one of the most. I'm going to say the most, because I can't think of someone else better. I'm sure there are guys that are equal to. You're very knowledgeable on the product, pricing. You're not charging people too much. How important is that? Yeah. And how much time do you take besides shipping and actually breaking? How much time is spent? You're way more knowledgeable, and I break a little bit now, but you're way more knowledgeable than a lot of people I see. So can you just talk a little bit about that?
I'm full time. I've been full time since January 4th of 2001. That was my last day that I quit I dissolved my other. I was running two businesses at one point for like 7 months, and it was the worst 7 months of my life, just because I was trying to give both businesses 100% and I was failing at it. And so I came to a point where I was like, I need to pick one. One business, I was driving 460 miles a day. I was driving airplane parts from where I lived in Marietta, California, to San Diego and then LA and back every day. I did that for 6 years. So when I was doing the cards, I would wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. I would drive all day, come home, get home around like 5 or 6, and then we would go live, and then we would, go live till 1 o'clock in the morning. At the height of the card hobby, we were probably live sometimes till 2 a.m. So I got to a point where I was like, I'm not getting any sleep. I can't. My body's breaking down because I'm on the road all day, and then I'm live at night. I'm not seeing my girls. I'm not spending time with my wife. I had to pick one. I picked the cards, obviously, because I'm passionate about sports. I'm passionate about cards. I played baseball in college. Sleevey, my business partner, played baseball in college, and he got drafted by the Marlins. He played all the way to AAA. That's why we have such a connection with baseball. We were ripping baseball back in early 2020 when no one gave a fuck about baseball. Yep. And when people say, like, oh, baseball is like when you think of sports cards, you think of baseball. Not in the height of the pandemic.
No, basketball.
I would also kind of caveat that with baseball is kind of was before quietly always the number one collected. Like the real hardcore collect. Like you look at Facebook groups, the baseball is like insane. The breaking part of it, I think you were definitely the first on Instagram to lean heavy into baseball and kind of sell people on baseball, not sell them on something they didn't know, but like I'm a baseball fan, but I'm not a baseball purist. So like you explaining to me, like because again, there's not the instant there's more arbitrage in that because these guys get drafted, they're not coming up for 2-3 years. Like you got to kind of know who can be the home run way early, and you can afford to take more of a risk by
James
spreading
Woods,
it out.
right?
Yeah.
James Woods.
Yeah.
I mean, because look I'm in Baltimore, dude. The Orioles somehow have the highest selling cards, and I mean they're doing decent this year, but they'll screw it up. I mean, they'll either trade whoever is good, and
I don't think so.
okay.
I'm on the other side of that
10
train.
years.
I picked the Orioles and the Braves to go to the World Series this year in the beginning of the season.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
Braves fan here, so
baseball's hard because what happened when the pandemic came in, all the flippers came into the hobby, and the flippers don't like baseball because they don't like to wait.
Yeah,
they can't flip, and so what happened was everyone's like, "Oh, screw baseball! I don't want to wait 18 months. I don't want to prospect." So then slowly, as
then
the ebbs
PSA
and
just
flows,
made you wait 18 months.
Yeah. Well, and then as the ebbs and flows of the hobby market and everybody, between basketball and football, whatever, people started slowly trickling into baseball because they're like, wait a second, I don't have to empty my fucking bank account and I can prospect and pick players to go after. And I'll wait 6-7 months and it might pay off. There were guys reaching out to me when Anthony Volpe got the nod that he was going to be starting day one this year. Guys were sending me DMs going, do you remember I pulled this with you in 2020 and we didn't give a fuck about this card? And he's like, I just sold it for $7,000. Holy shit. It's like things like that. Like no one was chasing Jeremy Pena in 2020. Then he wins the MVP in the World Series. No one gave a fuck about him 2.5 years ago. It was J-Dom and Witt. Now that's the beautiful thing about baseball is you could go back and go, holy shit, this guy's in this.
Yeah.
Yep. 2019 draft. No one, when we first ripped that, no one gave a fuck about Corbin Carroll. Now, I know he's hurt, but he's in the talk for NL Rookie of the Year. So now people are going back and they're going, well, we're not chasing Adley and Gunnar Henderson anymore. Now we're chasing Corbin Carroll and we're chasing this guy and Soderstrom. Like there's so many different, you just never know when that player can get the nod. And when that player gets the nod, that's why I tell people, hold on to the true colors with baseball and just cash in. Just cash in. Because don't overthink it, Yeah. I'll give the best example. And I'm sorry, Bernsey, I'm throwing you under the bus.
Yeah, he won't mind. He'll love the shout out.
I'll give the best example. Bernsey pulls the Bobby Witt Sapphire Red Auto. It gets a PSA 10. He's like telling everyone it's 150. It's 150. I want 150.
I DM'd him about that card because Eric Myers asked me about that card, Tim, and he's like, the owner of that, and I knew him through just being in your room. So I DM'd him about that card, and he told me 150.
Yeah. So I middled a deal for $110,000, right? And I told him, I said, Bernsey, listen, I'm getting $5,000 in this deal. I said, I'm not telling you to take this deal because I'm getting $5,000. I'm telling you to take this deal because if he doesn't fucking come out, guns blazing, if he doesn't fucking come out and is the best player in the league, this card will go down. No matter what, it's going down. No, I'm fucking holding on to this shit. You fucking smoking the cigarettes on the live and shit. Yeah, fuck you, So sure enough, it went down and it kept going down. And then there was a true red sale of $60,000. So that made the it just kept going down, And now he still has it, and he till this day he'll be like, "Yeah, that was the worst decision, the worst thing I could have done."
Oh, dude, you throw him right under the bus. I mean, he still has it.
Well, yeah, he still has it. I told him, I was like, "What are you gonna do now? You might as well hold it.
Yeah.
You might as well."
Yeah,
but that's the lesson that people need to learn is most of the time the first offer you get on a card is going to be the best offer.
Yeah,
it's gonna be the best offer. When you hold out and hold out and hold out, you're going to get screwed for the most part, unless it's, unless you held Ellie. I mean, Ellie's cards went absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Well,
but you know, there's still people now that are like, I'm gonna hold on a little bit longer. Ellie's gonna.
I don't understand why.
Well,
Yeah.
well, hold on
You
though.
know?
What do you think about this bounty stuff? Because will these Drew Jones cards ever be worth more than what they're worth now?
No, not that Drew Jones Superfractor will never get to $250,000. Never. I mean, listen, I know the guy's hurt. I don't want to shit on the guy because I believe in him. He comes from, he's cut from, Andrew Jones was one of my favorite players
Yep.
of all time.
Second, yep.
I wasn't even a Braves fan. It was Chipper
and
Andrew, Smoltz, Glavine, that
Lemke,
whole team
Javier
was
Lopez.
fucking,
We can go all day.
yeah,
with
the
you, man.
whole team was so good. But I said it to the guy who pulled the card. I said that card ain't even worth $50,000 right now. The guy's hurt. He's only had like 52 at bats. He can't even bat his weight. I don't think he has a home run in 50. I feel bad. I feel bad for like a player like that because he has all the pressure on him. As that pick. At that high of a pick. But I like the bounty stuff. I think it keeps the hobby interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's coming from the big guy. It's coming from the guys who, dude, literally made 8 figures out off of this hobby in like a quick period of time. So like they're putting it back in. Obviously, they have a vested interest in selling their own product, but you got to like somebody like you who does a lot of baseball. You had to see the jump of like everyone hunting the golden ticket.
It made perfect sense, especially I did the math. David Adams sells, 10,000 extra boxes for $100 extra? That's a fucking $1 million.
Yep.
$250,000 to them, that is nothing. That is nothing to them. They are happy to write that check. And they're happy that it took fucking 2 months to get hit, right? Because the product went way up. As soon as that card got hit, the fucking boxes dropped like $150 a box. It's pretty crazy. So I do like the bounty. The thing I don't like on the bounties is like the Luca. That Luca bounty felt like somebody made a call, said, hey, Shine.
I got these boxes.
We need a bounty. I'm sitting on 20 cases of Luca. I need to get rid of these. Done. Got you.
I think the voice of that call might have been a little higher pitched, but yeah.
No, but I'm serious. That kind of stuff. I said on my last week's podcast. I'm like, where's the bounty now on that card? You think it would be higher because it hasn't been hit, and all that 2-week period, they had to have ripped like 150 cases.
Yeah,
the
person who needed to get out of their cases got out of their cases because it was let's do this and then hype it up and then wrap it into break with Shine, do this with and like I'm not a huge fan of that. I mean, look, it's I guess creative marketing is at best I can say. But there's also a part of me that feels like people that play in that level know the game they're playing. So like, there are these horrible stories of people getting into breaks and like losing, significant amounts of money that, end up changing their life because but like, it was one time there was a guy that was in like Lil Poolman's live, and this dude was on live with him, like hammered out of his fucking skull.
Oh yeah. Dre.
And he's just smoking cigarette, ripping another box, and people are like pocket watching him in the chat, like, "What's this guy?" And the guy goes, "I play $5,000 hands of blackjack. You think I care about like?" So in that perspective, I thought, well, that makes sense. Like I've seen. Like, you wouldn't go up to somebody in a casino and go, you can't be betting at $5,000. Like, it's a $5,000 box, same as a $5,000 hand. At least you get something out of it. Hopefully, something bigger. But the best you can do in a $5,000 hand of blackjack is double your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you think about, like, and those guys play on a different playing field, but I don't like when people get caught into it.
Anybody who says that ripping boxes is not gambling, there's fucking odds on the back of the box. Okay? It's gambling. I'll say that as a breaker. It's gambling. But what are you going to do? Shut down everybody? You're going to go shut down the LCSs because you walk into a store and you grab a fucking box and you go, oh, well, my odds on hitting a red are this and this. If there's odds on something, it's fucking gambling. It's no different than going and putting a fucking parlay in, and your odds are 1 in 3,000. Well, my odds are 1 in 3,000 to hit this fucking superfractor auto in this box, and my odds are 1 in 3,000 to hit this parlay. It's the same fucking thing. So I don't know. That's
agree.
like the whole Jeff Wilson thing when he was like talking about regulation and oversight. I was like, oh, please don't talk about this.
Yeah,
Oh,
I agree. And
I'm that crass breaker he's talking about that makes crass jokes. Like, I'm like, come on, Jeff, don't go down that road.
Yeah, no, he did.
Know what he was
bro,
trying.
as a partner of his, every time he said, bro, trust me, every time he says some stuff like that, I'm like, oh, because a lot of people will, a few friends in the hobby, they'll talk shit to me because they know he's my partner, but it's just like, dude, I don't agree with him, or he doesn't speak for me. But anyway, like, it's wild. But yeah, I saw that stuff and I'm like, dude, that's all like the stuff I like. All the crassness. But I want to talk about real quick. So what was your best gamble? And I don't mean on release day. Was there a box over these last 3 years, these few years? Was there a box that you held back on purpose, or just like it was for yourself that you opened that you got a big card of, or for someone on a break that you held the box back a couple of years?
Or you bought a lot of product because
Or even buying for yourself that was just like you put away for a little bit and then pulled something crazy.
Man, we tend to not hold
Just
product.
rip, right? You just rip.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a case or anything that we may have held and it paid off. I don't even.
Well, it's hard in
think.
baseball, right? Because it is prospecting, so you have to have the guy in the product.
So I'll say the one case that ended up being the biggest card that we pulled. We bought a case of the 2019 Bundesliga soccer, which is Erling Haaland's rookie year.
Yep.
And we bought it. We didn't buy it super early, but we made good money on it, right? And those boxes, I think those boxes ended up getting all the way up to like $3,000-$4,000 a box. So we had that case stashed, and we could not sell it. We, for the life of us, we would show it off. Anybody want to crack it? And I think at the time we were selling them for like $3,000 a box. And at one point I told Matt Sleevey, I was like, we should just fucking rip it, man. I was like, it's been sitting here for like 7 months. Nobody's going to rip it. I'm like, that money that we spent on it has come and gone fucking 10 times since then, you know? Like, let's just rip it. And he's like, no, someone will open it. No. And I was like,
he's
all right,
an angel on your shoulder.
No, dude, he's like the fucking eggshell guy.
Yeah.
He's just I'm like at a 10 always, and he's like at a fucking 2, just like constantly watching. Yeah, he's not on my shoulder. He's looking over over my shoulder for me. But he's like, no. And I'm glad we didn't rip it. Because listen, the card we pulled was the true orange Holland auto to 25.
You pulled it for somebody or for yourselves?
We pulled it for somebody.
That's
right.
Yeah, that's good.
So, and that's my whole thing is people are like, oh, don't you wish you would open that box for yourself? I'm like, no, I want to pull a card for somebody else because it's good content. It's good for the channel. That guy's going to come back. And yeah, that card.
Yeah, could you imagine if you ripped it yourself and you're like, Sleevey, I got an idea. We're gonna do a thing where we rip our own box and do content, and you pull that card. You're now like the guy. You're now a scammer.
Yeah, and,
like, and it's not even true. You're just like labeled like you're a scammer.
Yeah, and I'd rather have somebody else hit that card because knowing that, especially a card like that person's gonna come back in and
what's that card worth?
Well, Burnsy hit that card.
Oh, so
so
he still has
he
it?
got a PSA 10 on it. He was asking I think 150 at the time. I think he ended up selling it for in the hundreds.
Thank God
I think
he
got
sold it
100
this time.
Yeah, but that card now is probably worth more than 150,000.
Oh Jesus!
God damn it.
Because that might be the only one that's gone back up. Because that card dropped because soccer took a hit.
Yep.
But Holland broke all those records at Man City. He did things in the EPL that nobody will ever do. Nobody will ever do because the EPL. I mean, I don't know if you guys know much about soccer, but you know the English Premier League is very heavy defense or like defensive minded,
Right.
and he fucking slaughtered all those records. He slaughtered the goal record. He slaughtered the team records. It was insane what he did. So
And those are all the records you want.
Something I learned just while we're on the Erling Haaland thing is that up until the expansion that he was going to have no chance to make the World Cup, and now they're expanding the World Cup to now where his team might make it, which would be an amazing thing for his cards, especially.
Well, he had dual citizenship at one point. He had England and Norway. He could have played for England.
Oof.
Not like he ended up choosing Norway like a long time ago. But I think when he was like 17, he had the chance, opportunity, and he just chose his hometown or his home country. But imagine that guy in England. They would just breeze through the World Cup.
Well, since we're just on soccer for a second, we've had this conversation with a bunch of people. The whole Messi thing. You're going to be ripping some Topps MLS? Like, what are you going to do when this Messi product comes out? Because I saw what you did to that Flawless Baseball. What was that? National Treasures Baseball, which I thought was amazing content, and I agree because Topps is king. But when Topps, like, what do you think about that type of product where you know your guys aren't used to any type of soccer, or at least not MLS product? What are breakers like you going to do that are obviously big fans of Topps because of baseball? What do you think is going to happen?
Like, bang, Freddie Adu.
Well, all right. I typically like to put stuff on the table that's gonna give you the best chances for ROI, or at least something that's not going to break the bank, and you might be able to hit something that's life changing, right? If it makes sense, we'll put it on the table.
Okay.
If for whatever reason MLS like soccer Sapphire is like $700 a box, I'll be like, that doesn't make sense.
Right, because there's one guy
you got to hit a Messi color or a Messi. I don't even know. They might.
I mean, but look, you already know that is what is going to happen.
Oh yeah.
Like, and you know who's going to be telling you about Sapphire is Rip Flax. Because
Chris,
he's a Sapphire king.
Yeah, I know.
So,
but I don't know. It has to make sense.
That's a good way to look at it, though. Like, you're open to everything if it makes sense for your community.
I have Star Wars. This last week I had Star Wars Sapphire, F1 Sapphire, Baseball Sapphire. I was like, I'm just gonna put a bunch of Sapphire, and people are like, why do you have F1 on your table? And I'm like, it's a $300 box. Okay, if you hit a low numbered max, you probably pays for the box. Mm-hmm. That's why. It's not something that's going to completely destroy somebody. And if you break it out, we were doing breaks. It was like $35 a spot. Yep. It's just like something that people can get in, and it's fun, And the Sapphires, Sapphire in general is just the nicest product, It may not have the highest comps, but they're clean cards.
So taking this thing full time, and we both know it's hard, and like you're running it, and I think that's why you'll probably succeed and do well if you can stay off Nancy Pelosi's Instagram page. You will do well because you're running it as a business, right? Things are in, things are out, things are accounted for, and I'm sure Sleevey has a lot to do with that. Didn't you move him down with you when you moved?
Yeah, I gave him an ultimatum.
I like that.
I was in the parking lot. I'll tell you this story because it's great. I was in the parking lot at the LCS, and I was buying product at my LCS down in Arlington. And I was like, he flew out here like right after Christmas and stayed till like New Year's and was just kind of like feeling it out to see if he liked it. And then he flew back home, and it was like January 8th. I call him up, and I said, listen, I don't need you here. I could do it on my own, right? I did it on my own with Rizzo. I don't need you here. I said, I fucking want you here. I want you I don't want you to miss out on this opportunity. I said, I don't want in 9 months you regretting not coming out here, and then the company is building, and I'm bringing on all these other things, and we're doing content, and we're building a brand. I don't want you to miss out on that. I said, I get it if you want to stay. And I also told Miss, I said, but you're going to have to go back to that mundane fucking 9-to-5 job where you're answering to somebody you fucking hate, and then you're going to be miserable. I said, make the move. I said, do yourself a favor and make the move. And he was like, okay.
Yeah, you can't talk to Sleevey like that.
Oh, dude, I had to.
Dude, he probably crumbled.
Oh.
He was on the next flight.
Oh, man, it was great. But you know what? I think he's made the adjustment. He met somebody out here. He wasn't dating anybody. I'm sorry, Sleevey. I'm talking about your personal life.
I love it.
but he met somebody out here, and he's a totally different person.
Tell him to
He
buy
is-
dirt. That's a country song says.
Yeah, but he's a totally different person. And I brought on, I don't know if you guys know this, but I brought on K-Town Breaks. K-Town is from Minnesota. He's 22 years old. He's a fucking grind. He is the hardest working 22-year-old.
There's so many. Yeah, that
It's
is. Yeah,
It's crazy.
I love it.
No, because I know a lot of kids in their 20s, and I say kids because I'm almost 40 now. I
Young
know a lot of
buck.
kids in their 20s that are pieces of shit, lazy fucks that don't want to work for it. And this kid is a grinder. He's like, when I told him, I was like, if you want to come down, we'll put you on the team. I'll call you Baby Daddy.
Don't
And-
do that.
That's his name is Baby Daddy.
Yeah.
Don't.
Did
his
Corey,
wife-
he has to stick to Corey. It's
No.
You have
brand.
to.
It's
What do you want-
branding,
what do you want me to
Corey.
do? They can't call him Daddy. They got to call him Baby Daddy. You know?
They don't have to.
No,
No, they
that's
do.
brilliant. No, it's good. Yes, it is.
And hey, I'm not kidding you. This kid, he calls me and he goes, "I'm on my way down."
I'm on my way down,
got-
Daddy. All right, baby,
He goes,
Daddy.
He's like, I got a little mini rental U-Haul, and I got approved for the apartment. The kid drove 15 hours straight from Minnesota down, and moved in, and now he's a grinder. He's a fucking grinder.
And that is what's very true, and something that I've always noticed, like with breaking, you can tell as long as we've been in it, and it's really not that long, but really from the start of the boom, which is the real rise of breaking, to be honest. I know people were doing it on YouTube and blah, blah, blah for years, and gatekeepers, chill out. I'm not talking about you. But like the ones that, like, there's a guy in Canada, we met him, Tim Cardpula. This guy is on nonstop, 24/7.
Why would you say
always
cod
tell-
pulla? It's cod
That's-
pulla.
No, Pulla, Pula.
You hear
I
it though,
said-
right, Daddy Rips? He's saying pulla.
Yeah,
It's cod pulla.
Card Pulla. Card Pulla.
Yeah.
That guy's name's Park. I thought it was Card Pull L.A.
No, it's Cardpula.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
'cause he's
I've
in
seen
Canada.
him on. Yeah,
And I met
he's
him,
live.
and
What
I've
do you mean,
always
he's
like
from
24
Canada?
hours.
well, I've always it's Cardpula A,
No, stop saying pool. Pull.
whatever.
Card Pulla.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I said. And he, like, I've met him at the Toronto show, and this dude is just grinding in his room. Like, if he wasn't in Canada, I was trying to figure out a way to just have him, like I talked to him, kind of like, if there's a way we could work some out, or do. He's just literally whatever retail he can get his hands on. You just see, like, it reminds me of, like, I'm sure you had some side hustle when you were little, cutting lawns, whatever it was. You did anything that, I mean, yeah, it's not as, but there's nothing more lonely I can imagine than sitting on a live with all this wax and like people popping in and out. You have one person and two people, and like,
Yeah.
you
No,
know.
that's actually the worst feeling, and it's the first thing that people have to get over, the hump. I'll have guys DM me and they're like, "Hey, how do you get 20 guys in your room? How do you get 30 guys?" And I told them, I'm like, "Dude, you don't think that we sat there and fucking had 2-3 people in our room for hours? We used to do breaks, and we would have the most we would have in our room is like 5 people, and we would, and 2 of those guys are buying multiple spots,
Yep.
and we're sitting there and we grinded our ass off. Like, I try to tell people, it's like there's no quick, fast way to get the following, get the people in the live. There really isn't. I think the only person that I saw have a fucking quick, like, crazy following build
let me
and
say.
take off.
BAP.
No, Royal Rich.
Oh, yeah.
Royal Rich
And
hit
LA
hit the-
Flav, or LA, the ones that did it with Drake.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
Well, yeah,
guys
I mean,
came out of nowhere.
you have someone like that on
Sure.
your. I think you. Yeah.
Well, no, but Drake
But-
just went into their thing randomly.
All right,
like,
right.
it
Yeah.
wasn't a thing that they
Yeah,
did.
and he was like ripping flawless and
Yeah.
stuff. But there really isn't a guideline to go like, hey, this is the fast track. If you want the fast track, go this way. That doesn't work. Trust me. There's guys out there that have bot followers. You know who they have,
Oh, yeah.
who the ones are. They show 90,000 followers or 70,000 followers, and they go live and they can't even get double-digit people in the room. It's like, those are bot followers, and I get that. Like, that is a way you can go to show, hey, I have all these followers. Like, maybe I can get deals with this. But I try to tell people as much as possible, you have to work with people that are on your same sort of playing field, right? Like I can't go, I won't be able to go and go, hey, let me do a collab with Backyard. They're fucking head and shoulders above me, head and shoulders above me. So I would go, hey, maybe I should go collab with somebody that has the similar amount of followers, kind of breaks the same product, kind of in the same category as me. If you have 500 followers, you're not going to be calling Blez, hey, can we do a collab with you? Blez will be like, I don't even know who you are. I don't know if I could trust you. Like that's another big issue in this hobby. You can't trust anybody. Yeah. I tell people, I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't trust you. I could trust Sleevey, and I could trust my wife and my girls here because I could see them. I know where they're at. I know what they're doing. But outside of that,
what about Baby Daddy?
Oh, Jace dude. That guy is like, he's too innocent, man. It's almost too innocent, because it's like, I'm like, dude, you could say, you don't have to worry about pushing the line. Like, I'll do it. I do it enough. Like, go for it.
He's gonna just flip one day.
Again,
Like, say whatever you gotta say.
Baby Daddy, right? Yeah.
Well, he did the other day. He was like, yeah, I was on Tinder the other day. I was like, oh shit! Like,
I told this girl to call me Baby Daddy.
Can you break live on Tinder? Can you imagine? Just like, all right.
Well, he showed me. He goes, look at my my profile pic, and it's him wearing a fucking chain with he has like the Lewis Hamilton 2020 Sapphire Variation card. It's like, I don't know, it's probably like a $10,000 card. But he's like, yeah, this is my profile pic.
Where'd he get the chain? I wonder.
I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
That'd be
It's probably one of yours.
Yeah, no shit.
Oh,
imagine if it's not.
It has to be.
No,
and
it's
if it
gotta
isn't,
be.
We'll say it is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well,
so what's next for
love it,
Daddy Rips and
where can we find you?
The Empire?
I'm on all platforms. YouTube.
You
TikTok,
got to be
Twitter.
on Rumble, aren't you?
I posted about Rumble. And someone was like, is this where your OnlyFans is? And I was like, no.
Dude, if you are smart, but there could be an opportunity to start breaking on there. I don't.
Yeah.
Like, from what I understand, that's like a
Wild Wild West YouTube.
A Wild Wild West YouTube.
Well, they have like Andrew Tate's on there. They have everybody on there who's pretty much
kicked off of YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But dude, I'm telling you, maybe entertain just trying to stream there, because again, like, everybody in this hobby, which I think you've done good just watching you over the time, and you've done good to stick with your brand, and you've also done well to stay in your lane. And I don't mean that as like any insult. Like, what you know, you do what you do. You don't overreach. You don't try to get like, you do try to collab with people, which people don't. I mean, when we're talking about it, you can't get people to collab with you because I think they think you'll steal their customers or something, which makes sense. But I think finding that, like, taking what you've built and the product, and if you could find that like Rumble lane, like my buddy Daps, right? He picked TikTok early, and like, he's one of the ones on TikTok that does it right and has like 5 streams, and I've never seen less than 120 people in a room, like, on TikTok. And he tried Instagram and he kind of backed off of it, and he's just gone full bore. So, but he was, self-admittedly early to it. So I think if you could find, like, you would just blow up even more. And again, like, we'll see what Fanatics Live brings. I think they'll if they're reaching out, obviously they may tell you to tone it down and just listen to your wife, if not anybody else. Like, maybe not pick a fight that you don't need to. Maybe both of you.
Yeah, for sure.
But real quick though, so on Twitter, this is 2020 on Twitter. So my wife had broke her ankle in the pandemic, and that's how I started Slab Strong, right? I was sitting next to her. She had a broken ankle. She lost her job, and they denied her unemployment because it wasn't COVID related. So I went to, and it's crazy, like, it doesn't make sense, but she had a job. She just couldn't work it. She had a broken ankle. She's a bartender. But anyways, so I was flipping out, and I started on Twitter. I put like a couple of councilmen that were trying to help us out. But anyways, so as a joke, because I was selling cards at that point on eBay, and as a joke, I put because it was at the time when they were trying to give out the $600 checks, but it was Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats that were holding the $600 one. If you remember, Trump ended up writing one himself. Not, you know what I mean, not an actual check.
Yeah.
So I wrote on Twitter something like, "Hey, Pelosi, just make the deal, and also check out my eBay hoe." And my Twitter account got suspended for saying that to her. But I was doing it as a joke, like, check out my eBay. I never thought that anyone Twitter or anyone in the Pelosi, it was crazy though.
I got a fantastic idea. Both of you guys set up a little channel. When you have a meme or a comment or a great tweet to say, show it to each other, show nobody else. Don't run it by anybody. Just show it to each other.
Oh, but I was doing it was an eBay promotion. I said, "Hey, Nancy Pelosi, check out my eBay, ho."
Yeah.
That was
eBay
a
would hate you
joke
for
though.
that.
I was promoting my
Right.
the joke was I was promoting my eBay.
If you would have just put a Santa Claus emoji after ho.
Okay, let's not.
Maybe they would've-
No. Let's not
You know
try
what
to
I'm saying?
figure out ways around this. You guys can just and to come really full circle. So Tim's first contact that he pretended to be a vlogger to meet Renee from Storage Wars. Daddy Rips used to work with Daryl's son from
Yep.
Storage Wars.
Yeah.
Wait, have we?
Daryl.
I know we did an Instagram live together where my house was getting robbed by the Scream Mask.
Oh,
but have we
dude,
talked
yeah,
before
that
about
guy,
this?
that was a creepy fucking thing.
Yeah.
You were showing that thing, and the guy was like, there was like a fake person in the front seat or something.
Yeah, dude,
right?
that was nuts. Well, they had the Scream Mask over the headrest, but when I had first saw it, I thought I was going down too. Like I didn't realize it was a mask till like well after. But
So yes, I used to work with Daryl's son. What was his name?
Brando.
Brandon.
Hey,
Yeah.
Brando.
We used
oh,
to.
that dude, I thought. Oh,
yeah.
that guy's the worst though.
Yeah, Brandon. Brandon's in here.
Brandon's a piece of shit. Brandon will never get it together.
The dad would always talk like he's got a fucking like 10 quarters in his mouth.
He would talk like that, and he also like hated,
Had the hairiest shoulders.
hated his son. He's like, "When's Brando gonna step up and make me some money?"
Yeah, I used to detail cars with him, or like wash and detail cars back in the day when I was like 18, 19 years old.
See, so that's how it comes full circle. And Tim
It's so crazy.
showed Renee from Storage Wars his product. Now Renee's like big into the hobby. I don't know if you see him popping around.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude,
Oh,
big.
dude,
I didn't know that.
At
I met
Dallas
him
Country,
3
he's at all
times
the
in-
shows now.
He's a Dallas show.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think the only person I've met is Joe Thomas. Was it Joe Thomas? No, Joe Staley. Is it Joe Staley?
What?
I don't fucking know.
What in Dallas?
No, I think it was in Del Mar.
What are you
I
talking?
think
Are
he-
you just saying
I
like
think he's-
random celebrities?
No, Joe Staley.
Yeah, we
the
haven't had a
fucking football.
celebrity off.
Yeah. What are you
he's-
doing?
What are you talking about?
You're
What
like,
do you mean,
oh,
what
the
am I-
only person I met. We were talking about you two having a connection to Storage Wars, and now you're just rattling off celebrities you've met.
No, I met him at Del Mar at the card show. He's like he's big into the hobby. Joe Staley. It's Joe Staley, right? I'm thinking.
Did you
I
meet
could-
Blake Martinez?
No.
What about Deuce
uh-uh.
Staley?
What about Cassius Marsh?
No, I've never
You
met.
never met
I
Cash?
actually DM Cassius. I said let's do a collab, but never got back to me.
Yeah, he doesn't run his IG, but he's cool, man. If you
No,
meet
I
him in
DM'd him
person-
on TikTok because I was in
Oh,
there.
sorry, he runs
watching
his
him. Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but no, I mean, dude, I mean, everyone knows. I mean, one of my best friends is fucking our famous rapper. Like he.
Who?
I don't want to. Huh? The
yeah, but
Suicide
that
Boys.
became that.
Who?
Didn't that become from the hobby?
That's exactly.
That's insane. The Suicide Boys.
That's like one of the craziest things
you know them,
because
Tim?
you know who Suicide Boys are,
Yeah.
Tim? Do you?
I didn't know him.
So
You're-
so Scott, his name is Scrim, on his stage name is Scrim. He came in and started ripping with us because his manager was ripping with us, and I had no idea he was his manager. This guy came in. His name was, we called him Sweet Lou. Guy would come in and just clear our table, fucking
30,
once a
40,000,
week.
I would watch
once
that,
a week,
Yeah.
clear our table.
Yep.
That was one of the reasons why we got shut down on PayPal, is because he sent like a $35,000 PayPal friends and family, and put in the notes like, I'm his uncle paying for his education or something like that, you know? And so that was one of the reasons we got shut down on PayPal. But so then weeks go by, whatever, and he was like, "Oh, by the way, I'm like the manager for Suicide Boys." I had no idea who they were. If I never met him through the hobby, I probably would have never listened to their music. I would have never met him. Obviously, would have never.
They're like an ICP, right?
No. They're like a southern, like underground rap, but now they're not. They're definitely not underground anymore. I mean, they're performing at Madison Square Garden this year.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, but I met him through the manager, and then we started building a relationship offline, and then that's when he was like, "Hey, bring $80,000 worth of wax down to Louisiana, and we'll rip it in my kitchen." So we went down there and we went live. It's on our Instagram. It's kind of cool, and because I had him opening shit, and we did that, and then just slowly but surely just built this relationship, and then it's so weird because the music they have was not my style. Like I like rap, but I was like slowly moving into other stuff. And now I'm like a fucking huge fan. And I don't say that because he's a friend of mine. I say that because I just started really listening to music. And it was like going to the shows and having like a different perspective on a show. When you go to a concert, instead of just sitting in the crowd.
Oh, you're behind the stage? Yeah, duh.
You're behind the
They'd
stage.
Be like,
you're in the
when I flew first class, I realized the commercial sucked.
No, it is.
Or like,
no, and I tell people, I said, listen, when you fly first class, you don't ever want to fly and coach ever again. You're like,
right.
Fuck that place back there. This place is where it's at. When you go to a show and you're in the green room before, like hanging out with people, and you're interacting with security guards, and you can just walk out to the stage whenever the fuck you want, and you could kind of like go wherever you want, you go, fuck, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go to a concert
all
and sit in the
because of
stands.
sports cards? That's insane.
Yeah, and that's all because of sports cards. And now I text him. We text daily. He asks, I drove down to Louisiana a few weeks ago. We went through his collection. We hung out. Like, he's invited us out to Florida, to his Florida house, and hang out at the beach. So he's become a big friend of mine. And now, like, I don't ever use him as like, I could, if I asked him tomorrow, I'll be like, hey, can you repost my fucking post?
Right. On
your fucking page that has 1 million followers. And when I say 1 million, it's not fake. Like, he'll post something and get 300,000 likes, I don't do that. But I know if I asked him, he'd be like, sure, yeah, I'll fucking do that for you. Why not?
And but that's that. I think that keeps that relationship. And that's
I do that for Corey all
crazy
the
thing.
time. He's always like, hey, Tim, can you post this about me? And I'm like, dude, fucking leave me alone.
Like the crazy thing, like Tim has a card in Tops because of just being in the hobby.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You meet,
That's a wild
It's wild where,
right?
And you look at a lot of the breakers, like, you see videos
Mama
of guys,
Breaks is in there, right?
Yeah, but no, we just need to talk about me for a second. Yo, did you know
think you need a bigger hat, though.
Major League Baseball made them airbrush my logo off because I don't have a deal with Major League Baseball. And
they tried to airbrush his face too, but
three things. And they airbrushed my beard off. But the third thing that they did that really pissed me off, because I think I had mentioned something to you. I don't know if I did or not, but I was telling everyone I was supposed to have 50 numbered autos in it, and I wanted to write people's name that I actually really liked in the hobby on the card. So I was gonna write like Daddy Rips, so it would be like a 1 of 1 on each one of 50, and then say, hey, let's do something together. So they pulled the autos. I had like 50 different deal Daddy Rips, or I had like 50 like SGC, which they're all still grading it. I had I had the best promotion for these cards ever. But anyways, enough about me.
Yeah, isn't that funny how I told you he was gonna put your name on an auto and then it didn't come out?
I was gonna be only. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you were gonna be one of the people. But anyways, it didn't work out.
Yeah,
well.
he said that to the last guest too.
Who was last?
Yeah, what wasn't that? Did Jeff Wilson have autos in that or no?
No, none of the influencer people had autos in it.
The autos, they didn't get in. I guess they didn't make it in time.
Classic.
Yeah, for rats.
Right? Yeah,
Get 'em next
Wembanyama
time.
autos too.
Yeah, Michael
how
Rubin
come
didn't fly out to take a picture of me signing my card.
Yo, that's the other thing. Watching like this Rubin, like these, like on Instagram with his white party and stuff, just like the connects that he has, and he
Yeah.
Bro,
puts like
Tom Brady, hold on. Tom Brady and Kraft together in a picture again. Then he had James Harden and the owner of the 76ers talking on a balcony together. Someone snuck that shot, and he's demanding a trade right now. The wild shit of having all those guys together when they have actual business that dealings they have to deal with together must be crazy. I'm trying to get invited to one.
Listen. I think the thing that I'm most excited about when I first became into cards, the cards that I was ripping was football. I'm a huge baseball fan, but I collected football from 2000 to 2005 till when I graduated high school. I cannot wait. Fucking Panini, get the fuck out.
Get out of here, Panini.
Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out
I
of here.
cannot wait for Topps Chrome basketball and football. They were the nicest sets. Oh, I can't wait. I cannot wait.
Dude, here's
That's why I'm like,
the inside scoopage. This could be a lie. This could be, I don't know if this is inside.
hold
numbers
on,
or
hold
not.
on. Sound
This is
alarm.
inside baseball?
Scoop alarm. Woo, woo, woo.
Quarter 4, Q4,
Q4. That's what they say in
2025 is when football is officially under Fanatics thing. Quarter 2 of 2026
26.
is when basketbusiness is officially there, from what I understand. So 2025, quarter 4, football, baby.
I can't
That
wait.
was your news? That wasn't
can't
insider
wait.
news.
Is that not well?
that not
that
inside?
can't be
That's
well
not
known to
inside?
people.
Well, from what I've heard, Panini's like holding out.
Oh, dude. From what I've heard, that the guy is so offended by how Ruben has like done him.
Treated everything,
He's
yeah.
like, dude, the guy's a billionaire. It's like, Bane said you can't stand on principle. Well, some people can.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be like that.
uh,
It's gonna be like that, Bobby Witt. Keep holding on to your football. Meanwhile, like the same thing with basketball, they put Wemby on a baseball product.
Well, the evaluation of the hobby's gone down. Didn't when Fanatics first came in, the evaluation of the hobby was like X
Crazy.
amount,
Yeah.
like $5 billion. Right? I'm just throwing out numbers.
Right.
Don't quote me.
No,
don't
comment
do
on
any
how wrong
research.
he is.
Yeah, but now I think they reevaluated, and I think it's like $3 billion. I think it's gone way the fuck down, and I think I could
Come
be
back
wrong.
to earth, right? Just say percentage. Say it's cut in 40%.
Yeah,
off.
I'm pretty
Right.
sure it's gone down a lot, and I think that's what the problem was, is that a lot of the investors were backing out because they were like, wait a second, we were expecting this valuation, now it's at this valuation. So, but overall, I think Fanatics is going to do a great job with the hobby if they keep going the direction that they're going. I like seeing baseball products when they came out 2022, and I know Fanatics had a little influence on it. 2022 Bowman Sapphire came out, and they're like, there's no pitcher autos in this. That product was like, if I made that product, I was like, this is what we're going to do. We're not going to put pitcher autos. That's good for the hobby. It's, if you're not going to get a pitcher auto. I mean, listen, I was a pitcher in college. Sleevey was a pitcher in minor leagues. Pitchers stink. Nobody wants to collect them. Nobody wants to buy them. Nobody wants to pull them. I'm sorry, this is how it is. So if they could keep going down that path and keep doing things that are tailored to the collector and are tailored to breakers and are tailored to everything, all things hobby. I got wind that they're doing that Topps is thinking about doing like breaker products.
Yeah.
Where they're like, it's going to be breaker specific.
Yep.
Where it's not going to have all the fucking fluff and all the fucking added bullshit. It's going to be straight to the point, which that's how it should be. Anyways, leave the fluff to retail. Why don't they do that?
Yeah, leave the fluff in Baltimore, right, Daddy Reps? Where this guy's from? Get out of
Yeah.
there,
All
Baltimore.
right, before we get out of here, one more
All right.
thing. We like to do it. It's
Oh, you wrote some stuff down.
no, it's
Nice.
just a little mind exercise to get your true feelings on multitude of topics. So
All right. Let me
I'm
put my
gonna
thinking
read
cap on.
this or that. No
What
thought.
are you eating?
Cake.
Well, hold on a
Nikki
second. What are
made
you-
cake last
Dude,
night.
this guy's number one cake is angel food cake.
Dude, angel food cake's fucking bomb.
No, not number one.
Not number one, but it's good.
Dude,
It's
a
good.
that's the point. Number one, he says.
No, you listen. I can't have
A
it anymore.
dry
But
mouth
you do angel
cake.
food cake with the whipped cream, strawberries.
This guy just
Yeah.
eats angel food cake like a sponge. All
right,
right,
go
so
ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just
Sorry for interrupting.
don't think about it. Answer this or that, whatever the question is. You ready? All right.
Yeah.
Red or blue?
Red.
Panini or Tops?
Tops.
Prism or Select?
Select.
Yankees, Mets.
No, he's Braves or
Okay, sorry. Braves. Who's your other
No, he
team?
loves the Braves. No,
I'm a Dodger fan.
All right. Dodgers, Braves.
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I'm going Braves. Fuck the Dodgers.
Jordan, LeBron.
I'm a huge Dodger fan, but they fucked me. Go ahead. What?
Jordan, LeBron.
Jordan.
Joker, Shaq.
Shaq.
Show your slabs or slab strong.
Show you're strong.
Damn it, he's good.
Yo, so
You
far,
see, you
no one
can't
has said
it.
show your
No, you
slabs
can't
though.
it though.
People have said slabs,
good.
strong, but no one has said show your slabs.
We
So
didn't
I'm
catch.
still.
You'll never catch Daddy slipping, as they say in the streets.
Did you hear it though? Show you're strong.
Yes,
Yeah.
You're
All
quick.
right.
I didn't know
You're
where you were
quick.
going after you said show you. Or I'm like,
Yeah, he was
Daddy
on-
Rips.
yeah.
He could say anything at this point.
Show your schlong.
You
All
know
right,
that
so
I've
just,
said that. Hold on
where-
a second. You know that I've said that. I've said that live.
Yeah.
Slab
Oh,
slong.
God.
Slab. Where just real quick, shout out where people can find you, website, all that, and because I know he won't shout out Sleevey, the real backbone of the operation.
Shout out, Sleevey.
Shit.
We're eating cake for you, bud.
Yeah. Okay. DaddyRips.com is the website.
Ooh,
Call Me Daddy is the podcast.
That's another thing. We
dude,
gotta
that's
talk
dope.
about.
You're doing honestly, dude, killing it, dude. Killing
Yeah.
it, bro.
Thank you. I
teaching
appreciate
people
it.
how to gluck gluck.
It's a lot of work. People don't understand. It's like I don't know. We could talk about that another time. But Instagram daddy_rips, and I think all other platforms is just Daddy Rips across the board, like Whatnot, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter. I think it's all just like straight across the board. I think Instagram. I have a story about that. The guy who owns Daddy Rips is a fucking surfing dude, right?
Oh,
yeah,
that's
like
that
rip
guy
it-
actually
rip it,
rips
like shredding,
waves. Yep,
like
shredding
yeah.
gnar. Yep.
The guy is like 65. He's fucking shredded, right? And I DM'd him back and forth many times. I'm like, how much for the page? He's like, nope, it's an OG name. It's like you never see like
I love
just
it.
that name, without any underscores or letters or numbers. And I was like, fucking name your price, dude. Name your price. He was like, surfing trip in, like he named some like exotic place. He's like, a surfing trip for me and my wife. And I was like, what does that run? It's like 10 G's. I'm like, fuck. No, thanks. I'm good.
Dude,
If
I
he would have
love
said
that
like,
guy.
if he would have said 2,500, I probably would have done it. I probably would have done
He
it just
probably
to have
would
it.
have taken 2,500 if you
Yeah,
said 2,500.
but yeah, he's
He is the
just-
true Daddy Rips. So anybody
Yeah, he
out
is the
there,
true-
if you know the true Daddy Rips, let us know. We could
Yeah.
have dueling rips, and we'll be sure to bring on Baby Rips or whatever the hell his name is.
No,
Baby Daddy.
dude.
Come
You can
on.
you can find him on Tinder, I guess, too. So that's another.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on Tinder wearing a Show Your Slabs fucking chain.
Yep, love it. Hey, flaunt what you
We'll
got.
have to get him on here.
Cool.
so.
Well, thank you, and that'll
Well,
wrap it up.
I want to
for-
get you. I want to get you guys on our pod, on my pod too, because I've only had one guest so far.
Slab Business is your one-stop shop for all things epic.